Hey folks, I did a post on here relatively recently about a pitch that we did, a proposal, a response to an RFP that we had done that we weren't successful in, but that we had jumped on a feedback call with that potential client and we had learned a lot, and it was really, really helpful. And we got to see, where there were areas that we could have potentially improved on, or where there were areas where it was completely outside of our control. Certain factors in play for the client led them to go another way, that kind of stuff. I think there's a challenge when you're pitching for things and you don't get feedback, in that you don't then know where you might have fallen down or what the context the client was operating in might have been. And I think most times that's where we end up. We don't get that feedback. And I put a post up about how useful the feedback was and whatever, and there was some comments, but I think one of the comments hit home to me, which was one from Joe Ryan, which said, that it's rare to actually see us get feedback, that's not very common. And he's dead right. And I started getting annoyed then thinking about it. And this came up at the recent Major Events International Event Summit too. There were discussions around this from panels about how, to close that loop on a proposal, on an RFP process, suppliers, people who pitch should be getting feedback. I mean, that should be the last piece of the jigsaw. It shouldn't just be, all right, we've chosen the people we're going to give the work to and forget everybody else. So I think we've all been in that situation. I think we've all wondered what we might have done better. And, I've spoken to people about this. I think there's a respect thing. There's an element to this that's just professionalism, that you offer that feedback to those that you're not selecting. I know those conversations can be weird. I said that to the person we had this feedback call with, and he said, look, I spent a lot of time on your side of the table. My early career was, doing proposals, pitching for stuff, so I get it. He said, I know how useful it is, so I'm happy to do it. And I just thought that was a great attitude. And I think a lot of people administering these RFP processes should not consider them complete until they've offered and given feedback to any of those who pitched, weren't successful, and who want that feedback. What do you think?